Orozco, Juan Manuel Rojo, Gustavo Rosales, Brian Gutierrez, Roberto Carlos Sordo, Norberto Ochoa, and rounding things out is Marcelo Fattori. Pumas wearing their yellow with the blue lettering, Soccer Central wearing their white. We're moments away from the start of the round of 16, game one between these two fiery competitors. And by the way, my name's Christian Filliman, better known as Philly, and I've been with you here all week. Super excited to get this party started. Now we're all in the weekend, so now we can all party and celebrate together at this Global Soccer Festival, the 4th annual TST tournament, live from Wakeman Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina.
At defense, number 6, Gustavo Rosales. At midfield, number 14, Marcelo Fattori.
Some housekeeping items for you. The rules for TST are as follows. 2 18-minute halves, no offside, no slide tackling, no throw-ins. Subs can come frequently, and no game ends in a tie. We'll tell you all about the target score time as we get closer to it, but we will have a game winner, and more than likely it's going to be dramatic.
Alabama to get us underway in the gold.
Pumas to Alabama, their second year at the TST. Looking to atone for the loss to last year's champion Bumpy Pitch, and we are underway. Pumas to Alabama, Talacha-based team competing in a lot of high-stakes tournaments all across the country and internationally as well. For those unaware what Talacha is, think of it as like an underground cash soccer tournament scene. A lot of these players have played at high levels and continue to make a very handsome living going week to week and competing in a lot of these tournaments. This Pumas to Alabama team has been together for quite some time, and a lot of them have played football rapido in Mexico as well as in the arena leagues with Major Arena Soccer League. And more recently, a lot of them as well has competed in the Kings League in Mexico. So in terms of high-stakes tournaments, Pumas to Alabama knows this type of format and is very comfortable as Gustavo Rosales gets dispossessed and running towards the box as Christopher Castillo as the save is made. Brian Orozco, the young Guatemalan international who had himself a game-winning goal against Freedom United. Excellent goalkeeper. Already has a goal and an assist to his credit here at the TST. Played with the Guatemalan national futsal team as well as professionally in the Major Arena Soccer League with the Empire Strikers. There he is, number 1, Brian Orozco. For Soccer Central, they're named after an indoor soccer facility in Watsonville, California. For them as well, this is their second appearance at TST. They got knocked out by Trident FC in the round of 32 last year by a narrow margin of 2-1. This is a team that has had 11 different goal scorers contributing over the course of their first few games. As stated, undefeated. And last night, they played in a contest against Withenshaw FC Vets, and it was Angel Rodrigo, the game winner in target score time, that helped push Soccer Central forward. Pumas to Alabama, interestingly enough, finished third in Group B with a 1-2 record, 8 goals for, 5 goals allowed. They defeated Piece of Cake by a score of 5-0 before falling to Hernandez United 2-1 and then losing to La Mexicana Express. But in the TST tournament, it's the top 2 teams from each group that advance, and then the next best 8 that did not finish in the top 2. So as a result of their performance, Pumas to Alabama plays on. As Marco Tovar gets it over the midfield. Pass coming in to Miguel Morales. As stated, a lot of these players had competed with one another at multiple levels. Player to look out for on Pumas to Alabama, without question in this case, has to be Eder Georgiana, who's tied for third in goals at TST with 4. He's part of the La Bombonera squad that won the TST back in 2024, and in addition with the Mexican futsal team. Number 11, Eder Georgiana. Hugo Rodriguez dumping it off to Moreno. And Soccer Central calling for a change of possession, and it is indeed rewarded. Player to look out for on Soccer Central, Roberto Carlos Sordo. 3 goals and 1 assist at the TST so far. But the anchor in the back line, without question, is Brian Orozco for making some outstanding saves to scoring goals himself. A true MVP in this TST. Soccer Central momentarily had regained possession as we see Zoro Skilton. But foul's going to be assessed, and restarting things, Marco Tovar. Marco Tovar, number 4 for Pumas de Alabama. Played with Tigres from the 09 to 2016 season, but spent 3 loan spells in the Ascenso MX, second tier professional leagues in Mexico. Set piece opportunity here for the always dangerous Pumas de Alabama. They put everybody on notice last year with how they were absolutely drilling through their opponents. As the set piece intercepted by Orozco. Soccer Central on the move. Open opportunity and the goal! Opening things up for Soccer Central as Baruch Ochoa Ariza and Soccer Central takes the lead.
Soccer Central.
Excellent ball movement that opened things up while Pumas de Alabama had maintained possession for about 4 minutes. It just took that split second on the counter for Soccer Central to come through and punish them.
That goal coming in the 5th minute of the first half. Your score, Soccer Central 1, Pumas de Alabama 0.
Ariza. So for Pumas de Alabama, they take a quick knock to the chin early this morning. And for those joining us this morning, thank you so much for making us a part of your weekend activities. Whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or international, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Passing coming back into Eddie Sanchez, deferring to their keeper, Giovanni Rodriguez. Rodriguez, been a part of Pumas Alabama for a little while, was the goalkeeper for them last year. Comes in the mighty Uriel Zuart wearing 34. Uriel played in Kings League Mexico with Los Chamos FC. And part of that Mexico World Mini Football World Cup team. Mexico World Cup Mini Football team won it all in 2019 in Perth, Australia, defeating a very tough Brazil team. Uriel also had competed with the Monterrey Flash in the MASL, number 34. There he is, advancing it to his left side. Excellent ball movement. But the back line of Soccer Central prevails. Alder Georgiana, who along with the other Georgiana are really the focal point of the offensive attack for Pumas. Alder leading the team in assists and Eder leading the team in goals. And Eder wearing number 11. One of the top goal scorers here in this tournament. Current Golden Boot leader is Kings League All-Stars Kelvin Oliveira. He's got 6 during this tournament. It's an errant pass and an unforced turnover. Gives Pumas possession. Foul issued to Soccer Central's number 6, Gustavo Rosales. That's a man that's been around the block for a significant number of years. Rosales in his 40s, probably quickly approaching his 40s. Whether or not he'd be happy that I stated that is one other thing to question, but still playing at such a high level. Very well respected in the indoor community, the Talacha community, and of course the Football Rapido community. Oscillating on the counter was Alder Georgiana as he got hung up. And the attempt by Eder blocked by Marcelo Fattori. And Soccer Central aggressively playing Pumas de Alabama. More than likely, it is going to be Pumas, the team that is going to dominate possession. But just as you saw with that first goal that was scored by Baruch Ochoa Ariza, all it takes is one quick counter and one quick pass to open things up. Pumas known for playing with their relentless energy, confidence, and chemistry. And a good portion as to why they are called Pumas is the owner of it is a big fan of the Liga MX giant, Pumas. A lot of these players do not hail from the state of Alabama, in case anybody was wondering. It's the header elevated into the air. And pushed forward as Orozco comes out of his box, has to quickly hustle back. That's another whistle. Another foul issued to Soccer Central.
At the midway point of the first half, your score.
Soccer Central is managed by Henoni Martinez, who coached in the indoor leagues in the Major Arena Soccer League for quite some time, and arguably one of the best professional indoor soccer players that the country of Mexico has produced. Coached the Chihuahua Savage to an MASL championship, and as a youth played in the 91 FIFA U17 World Cup. So Henoni Martinez, the coach of Soccer Central, has won at many levels and competed at many levels. Free kick coming up for Pumas, as it's Christopher Castillo ready to tee it off. He's got space to the left and the right of him, as we see a blockade and a sea of white kits from Soccer Central. Compact in the box. And Castillo fires it. And the goal gets scored. Christopher Castillo threads the needle, and Pumas de Alabama with the equalizer.
Scored by number 99.
Christopher Castillo was on that 24 La Bombonera championship winning team. In addition, competes on the international stage with Mexico's beach soccer team. And you can credit the fact that he's now scored in the round of 16 for Pumas. Desperately looking to get back into the final. They were potentially the favorite, although bumpy pitch fans would probably disagree. But Pumas de Alabama was the team to beat last year. And had it not been for one simple mistake that led to a goal by Charlie Gonzalez from practically the midfield, who knows what's to say that Pumas couldn't have been the one to cash that $1 million payday. And despite not starting off very well in the group stages, the soccer gods have blessed them, allowing them to progress forward. They beat Drip FC by a score of 3-1 yesterday in the round of 32, which, if they get hot at the right time, this is going to be a dangerous team as the tournament matures. Little over 11 minutes into the first half, and what we anticipated is coming to fruition, a very competitive and close contest. Players on both teams have had experience within that Talacha culture of the underground cash tournaments. Pass into the box. And no foul issued on Castillo as he bodies Leyva off the ball. So quickly played in to to Jorge Rios. Jorge Rios, nicknamed Pareja, one of the most explosive scorers you'll see at any level of soccer. Rios was the 24-25 MASL MVP, where he scored a jaw-dropping 33 goals and 19 assists. Youth club at Atletico San Luis, number 6 for Pumas de Alabama. The free kick punched out of danger, and Moreno breaks through the defenders. And he's going to get fouled from behind by Marcelo Fattori. And we've got a yellow card. Our first tarjeta amarilla indicated, and Moreno back on his feet, heading to his respective bench. And a free kick from a dangerous position on the field. And just as we saw moments ago, Pumas can be very clinical from that distance.
Soccer Central's number 14, Marcelo Fattori.
So it was
Free kick for the Pumas.
Pumas getting their goal from a very similar position the last time around. This time it's Hugo Rodriguez or potentially Uriel Zuart set to take the free kick. Team that is unselfish at giving their players opportunities to score. Not as many players have scored from Pumas to Alabama as Soccer Central has stated. Soccer Central, 11 different goal scorers throughout the course of the tournament. Yes. So it'll either be Rodriguez or Zuart. And it is going to be Uriel passing it to the left. And the goal! Pumas to Alabama strike again. Once again off of a set piece. A brilliantly placed ball as Zuart was going to fire it home. And the goal scored, just waiting for visual and verbal confirmation. And it was Jorge Rios. Pareja punches it through. Mention how explosive of a scorer he is. If he finds that pocket, he'll tear it to shreds. For Rios, now his second goal in the tournament. Soccer Central, after taking a quick lead, sees it evaporate over the course of just a couple of minutes. Zuart, a knockdown defender, marking Norberto Ochoa. Ochoa, an alumnus of UC Riverside, competed in a very competitive Big West League. A lot of those Big West teams are going to be competing in the Pac-12 next season. As the header punched aside. And Pumas once again looking to pounce. Their leading scorer, Eder Georgiana, into Luis Magana. Magana floats it into the box, and Orozco elevates and intercepts. Magana, number 10 on Pumas to Alabama. A 24 champ with La Bombonera. In fact, Pumas to Alabama's got 5 players from that TST winning team. A lot of spin-offs happened after La Bombonera won. Another team that you're going to see later on, Hernandez United, has a few players from that La Bombonera team as well. And that is another team to pay attention to, Hernandez United. They compete later on today against Crew FC, Sergio Aguero's Crew FC. Less than 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. As Pumas to Alabama in control of this contest. Pass comes back to Giovanni Rodriguez. Rodriguez weighing his options. Milking time off the clock as we're less than 90 seconds before both teams head to their respective benches for a 6-minute halftime break. Crowd starting to pile in to Wake Med Soccer Park, the home of the NWSL's NC Courage, and the only home for TST, and the only home for the foreseeable future as well, as a near $7 million investment from the state of North Carolina towards the city of Cary is going to be keeping this global soccer festival in town. The economic impact has been felt, as TST has generated nearly $24 million in economic impact to the city of Cary since 2024. Last year alone, nearly $15 million. So at this point, it seems as if Pumas is content to just run out the clock. As Rodriguez casually crossing the midfield. He's going to fire it into the stands. And what was it that he fired? Well, a Voigt size 5 soccer ball. Voigt, the official ball supplier of the TST. Made in Los Angeles, perfected in Mexico, over 100-year history. And the official blows the whistle, indicating that that is the end of the first half. Both teams are going to step aside for a break, and we will as well. When we come back, we got some halftime stats for you. Your score here going into the half: Pumas to Alabama 2, Soccer Central 1. Back on the other side of this break.
All tournament long at Sports and Social Cary, the official bar of TST, located just minutes from the stadium. Stop by during every session break for pregame energy or postgame bites. For cold drinks, wall-to-wall sports viewing, and great food. Duke Sports Medicine is ready when you are, with convenient locations across the triangle and appointments within 48 hours. Visit dukehealth.org to schedule. Scan the QR code on the video board to download the official TST app to stay connected all tournament long. Explore the interactive festival map, follow live scores, view food and drink menus, learn more about teams and players, receive weather alerts, access exclusive discounts, and much more. Scan the QR code now.
Copy. I'd say we go on, with another minute 30. All right, sounds good. The other day, just so you were aware, it's kind of funny, a friend of mine who was watching the broadcast, I don't remember which one of the last two, mentioned that there was a hot mic during halftime. And I was like, oh no, did I say anything? And he laughed. He goes, you said... I've got marbles in my mouth. That I'm a little more cognizant about. But it was kind of funny. I got a nice chuckle out of it. Yeah, I mean, obviously we had that. I mean, honestly, I didn't think it was so bad. I didn't have any issues. I don't know. I guess the advantage of having been in a punk rock band for a long time, squeaking by a meager existence, I've seen things that most people would scoff at, and I still, did it like it was Madison Square Garden. I don't know. That's just always been my mentality. Yeah, exactly. I can only worry about the things I can control. All right, let's rock. All right, welcome back, folks, to Field 2 here from WakeMed Soccer Park, First Horizon Stadium. Let's take a look at the halftime stats before we get things rolling. For Soccer Central, they would have 3 shots with 2 of them on target. Pumas to Alabama, a little more, slightly more, 4 shots to 3 of them on target. Your goal scorers opening things up at the 4-minute and 40 mark was Baruch Ochoa Ariza, and he was assisted by Rock Casanova. And then 5 minutes later is when the Pumas onslaught began, as Christopher Castillo off of a free kick. Set piece, scored a goal, and then a mere few minutes after that, it was Jorge Rios, nicknamed Pareja, taking the assist from his former Chihuahua Savage teammate Uriel Zuart, and that's what has us at this 2-1 scoreline. Strong start to day 4 here at the TST. Hard to believe that we've made it to Saturday. Just a couple more days to go until we get to the finals, and this tournament has not ceased to continue to amaze me year after year, how it's grown exponentially. The crowds that we had last night, I didn't get the numbers verified, but if I was a betting man, I would say attendance records were broken, potentially even shattered. People starting to slowly trickle in this morning as the stands starting to see some fandom, and we are underway. Second half action to begin. Soccer Central, after having scored the first goal, finds themselves having to play from behind. Soccer Central has not tasted any L's as they have carved up all of their opponents. But in closely contested games, as Orozco, under duress, manages to find Fattori. And a foul's going to be given to Zuart. Zuart's never-say-die attitude and relentless pressure is one of the main reasons why Pumas is such a tough team, and in a lot of cases, very tough to score upon. Orozco, who also competed with the youth side of Guatemalan Giants Comunicaciones, part of the U.S. Arena team. Orozco, the goalkeeper for Soccer Central. And as we get into target score time, Brian Orozco, along with Chris Toth, who now no longer is in the men's division, two of the most deadly goalkeeper goal scorers at this tournament. But Toth, after losing as a part of the Withenshaw Vets to Soccer Central, will now have to put his hopes in the mixed division as he's a part of Sneaky FC. Rosales. And change in possession. And both teams are going to head to their respective benches. Practically line change for Soccer Central. Copy that. All right, folks, back here as Pumas to Alabama mounting up their attack once again. 2 minutes and 37 seconds in. And retreating is Alvaro Bocanegra, Eddie Sanchez, back to his keeper. Pumas resets. Luis Magana to Zuart. Zuart collects it back around the midfield. Fattori progress forward, trying to apply some pressure on the offense. Space opened up, Pumas still with it. And the strike. Not enough pepper on it to be deadly. As Zorro zestfully zests it out of the danger zone. Pass on the right, promising opportunity on the counter. Ball is loose and cleared away. Save of the game is not going to be credited to any keeper. And that is hustle, grit, and determination. If you had to find one play in this game to sum up what kind of team Pumas to Alabama is, it was that. And that was the hustle by Alder Georgiana, preventing an equalizer. Orozco now well outside of his box. He's scored from very similar distances. Seen it time and time again, not only at TST, but in the indoor games, as well as futsal. And his career continues to blossom. One of the nicest young men you'll ever meet. If you have an opportunity to get to see him, say hi to him, always has time for the fans, always willing to take pictures. And a great smile, if I do say so myself. Quick play into Pumas. As Soccer Central's defense was sleeping momentarily. And Soccer Central does need to be careful in terms of where they are fouling Pumas to Alabama, because their last 2 goals have come right off of set pieces from similar distances, whether it was Castillo firing a long-range shot or Zuart passing it into the pocket and Jorge Rios scoring. This is a team that is clinical when it comes to set piece. So a series of Pumas prowling inside the box. The official blows the whistle. Free kick on its way. Shot in the traffic as Rios could not penetrate the wall. And it's going to be Andre Ribeiro dos Santos who puts it into play. Youth career began for him in Brazil with Grêmio. And number 8, Ribeiro dos Santos, 1 goal to his credit here at TST. That stayed a very unselfish team with 11 goal scorers. Anybody on this team can make you pay. Counter. Pumas. And the goal! Pumas to Alabama go up once again. Mixley Cruz with the 3rd goal for Pumas.
Pumas!
That's not a goal, that's a direct deposit. 3-1, Pumas to Alabama.
That goal coming in the 7th minute of the second half.
As we are 6.5 minutes in, Pumas starting to run away. But as we know, when we get into target score time, anything can happen. And there's that relentless defensive pressure as Marco Tovar pushes it past the sideline. Into Juan Manuel Rojo, whose name we really haven't called an awful lot today. Juan Manuel Rojo, an MASL veteran, Major Arena Soccer League veteran, playing with teams like Atletico Baja, the El Paso Coyotes, Turlock Express, teams that have had history. And then the most historic of all professional indoor soccer teams, the San Diego Sockers. People say that San Diego doesn't have any professional sports teams that win major trophies, and that's not the case. San Diego is a dynasty, and arguably one of the greatest dynasties in North American sports. Rojo gets it across the midfield. Castañeda, back to Rojo. Rosales. And the thought process was there, but he let that one slide by him because he wasn't under any kind of duress. But Gustavo Rosales is a crafty veteran. One of those professional athletes. Hey, almost a careless turnover as Brian Orozco fighting outside of the box. He's going to have to sprint. Pumas, the chip, and Rojo with the save. We have a player down after firing the attempt. It was Leonardo Hairline that holding on to his knee. Brian Orozco played a very dangerous game. He gambled, but in that case it paid off. It might have been a one-on-one opportunity, and well, when you've got 6.5 feet of height and 18.5 feet of width, one-on-one becomes pretty tough space to cover.
Soccer Central on the ball in white.
About the halfway point here in the second half. Pumas to Alabama in control, leading by a score of 3-1. Soccer Central, in case you're just joining us, scored the first goal of the game less than 5 minutes in, and since then it's been a Pumas prowl. Rojo. His pass gets picked off. Zuart opts to retreat. And Pumas now get to reset and readdress their attack. Magana. Opts to go back to his keeper. 8 minutes to go, and I'll give you all the target score time rules once we get into that frame. Roscoe rolls it. Into Angel Rodrigo Castro. Comes back to Zorro. Intercepted, careless pass. Recovered by Pumas to Alabama. And with space to run, the attack mounts once again. Not enough pepper on that steak by Castillo, as Orozco makes an easy save. And Orozco now is going to advance it. And another almost turnover. The passing has not been as precise for Soccer Central here in the second half. A lot of telegraphed passes. As Mendoza chips it out of play. Soccer Central really played a highly spirited game against Withenshaw FC Vets. And it was Rodrigo with the game winner from midfield. He got the golden fleece, and that was the second to last game of the night. So you'd have to wonder if fatigue is a factor. Although when there's $1 million at stake, there's no excuses. The defending champs went down last night, Bumpy Pitch FC, by a score of 5-0 against Quick Goal. Quick Goal looking like one of those teams to beat, as well as Kings League. And the winner of this contest also be in that category. As you make it to the round of 16, though, every team that's at this level didn't make it here by accident. Get a couple of bounces your way, get out of the group stage, make it into the round of 32. But at this point, each of these 16 squads have what it takes to go all the way. 4 more wins to a nice suitcase filled with money. Although that's not how they do things anymore. So there will be no suitcases. No transaction reports printed out at any banks. It's all about checks. And Pumas has cashed several checks. But the one check that they do want to get to cashing is this 7-figure one here in Cary, North Carolina.
To play in the second half. Pumas still with a 2-goal
5
lead
more
over
minutes
Soccer
remain
Central.
here in the second.
Pumas in gold, Soccer Central in white.
Excellent pressure from Donovan Alva. Alva, another Kings League player, competing with Los Chamos. The last 3 years, this tournament has been dominated by players from the Major Arena Soccer League. I believe we also have 140 right around that mark this year, but as this tournament started, it was the Kings League players that came in bunches. 232 Kings League players. And as we began the round of 32, 75% of the teams that were in the knockout phases had at least one player from Kings League. So at this point, Kings League and MASL starting to rival each other here at the TST. And so what an interesting final it would be if there was an all MASL and all Kings League team. Both of these teams feature talent from both of those respective divisions that we just talked about. The corner kick coming up here for Soccer Central. Looking to chip into this lead. Right now, target score time is going to look a bit harder for them than they would have originally liked. And from one keeper to another. Speaking of which, we had our first goalie wars last night, as well as the home run contest. You know, the home run derby was won by Club America's Miguel Layun. Didn't get a chance to see goalie wars as I was on the call. And they did not stream that, so you can't go back to YouTube to watch it. But that just means you have to come to Cary, North Carolina. As that shot attempt by Orozco, close to hitting the mark. It's a good effort. He saw space, and shooter's going to shoot. Throw out a hockey term, the great Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Under 3 to go. Can Pumas get some extra insurance? Can Soccer Central chip into this lead? Or will we have a target score time of 4 in the next couple of minutes? The question's been asked. The answer soon to prevail. Zuart. Poked away by Dos Santos. Official's going to call for a foul. It's going to stay on this side of the field. As Rios defers to Zuart. And back to Pareja. Rios with a goal to his credit today. 2 goals now in the TST tournament. Wearing number 6 for Pumas. Pass back to Brian. Guatemalan international futsaler. Waving Gustavo Rosales forward. So he's going to confidently push it past midfield. Rosales, who played on some big stages. One of the bigger stages in Mexico, Arena Monterrey. A facility where giants have competed or played. Whether it be on the music level, the likes of Led Zeppelin or Queen, or teams like the Monterrey Flash. Also had some of the best crowds when the NBA traveled internationally as well, Arena Monterrey. And that's where Gustavo Rosales had competed. And just getting confirmation as to who won the goalie wars. So from Peluche Caligari, it was Igor Campos. He got to cash himself a nice $5,000 check. Not bad for a day's work. Less than 30 seconds remaining here in regulation. As Zuart a blockade. Pumas, the shot saved by Orozco as he had to make a diving play. Soccer Central with 15 seconds to operate before we head into target score time. Pass up top, once again, deflected by Zuart. It's going to come back to Rojo. Rojo to Rosales. Soccer Central running out of time here in the second half. Gustavo to Rojo. And the official blows the whistle, indicating that regulation is over. And we now head into target score time. So while both teams head to their respective benches, that's going to give us an opportunity to review what the target score time rules are. A unique way to end the contest, and that's the beautiful thing about TST. One of many beautiful things, I should say, is they take the traditional manuscript and rules of soccer and tear them in half and give us something more exciting and fun to watch. Not that the outdoor game isn't exciting, but when every game ends in a game winner, that's fun. So the target score in this case is 4. That is Pumas is 3 plus 1, the leader, plus 1. Target score is 4. Now, if Pumas scores at any point, the game is over. Soccer Central very much in this game, but as they currently sit on 1, they've got some ground to make up before they hit 4. Each team will begin with 7v7, and will continue to play until that target score time reaches. If after 3 minutes the target score hasn't been reached, a player gets removed from both sides. So we go from 7v7 to 6v6. And the story repeats itself. So on and so forth. But the one thing to pay attention to and to take note of is the new rule in target score time. Teams have 15 seconds to get the ball out of their defensive end. Once the ball crosses midfield, it cannot be kicked back intentionally into their defensive end, aka no stalling, or it's going to result in a change of possession. If an opponent kicks that ball into the zone, it is not a violation but a live ball. So backfield violation, in a way similar to that of basketball. It was discovered that about 32% of the games that ended in target score time at last year's TST wound up being 2v2. So in order to make these games quicker, faster, and more exciting, this backfield violation rule was implemented, and it's proven to do its job, as we haven't had very many games that have gone 2v2. By my count, less than a handful, but I'm just counting that as the men's division. So my name's Christian Filliman, better known as Philly, and I've been with you for the duration of these games here, and it's been an honor and a privilege getting to hang out with you. You can hear it in my voice. And the reason why my voice sounds this way is I'm just so darn excited to be here and get to call these contests with you. I love the TST. I love the stories. I love the players. And some of the fun aspects about it is while you could get your global superstars, your Sergio Agueros, your Douglas Costas, your Marco Fabians, your Miguel Layuns, this tournament has typically been won by players that are relatively unknown. And you could have a school teacher competing against an individual who's won at the highest level. And it's the school teacher that, in some cases, has gotten one over. And the player I'm talking about in particular is Kings League All-Stars, is number 16, Alex Gutierrez, a.k.a. Guti. It's a story about an individual that he's a teacher, then got involved in Kings League and became a highly decorated player. Now, along with Kelvin Oliveira and a slew of other All-Stars from the Kings League, they came here not to participate, but to take over. Same thing with the MASL players. Same thing with the Talacha talents. Pumas to Alabama is just that. If you're just joining us and not familiar with Talacha is, underground soccer scene, cash prize tournaments where a lot of these guys will make a living off of it. So the reason why a team like a Pumas to Alabama, Hernandez United, even players on Soccer Central, the reason why they play with such competitive fire, yes, they're athletes, yes, they're competitive, but this is their livelihood. This is what helps put food on the table. So it's just that extra added incentive, that extra burning desire, that extra hunger as we now begin target score time. Castillo, one of the goal scorers for Pumas, puts it into play. So we have 3 minutes in this variation of target score time, unless, of course, Pumas managed to score in a tugging of Castillo's jersey. And a set piece from a dangerous position. And mistakes like that can prove to be costly, as every foul, every turnover can potentially result in a goal. And as we've seen twice already this morning from a very similar position, Pumas has been clinical. Can they execute once again? Free kick on deck. Cleared away by Soccer Central. Saved by Orozco. If I had a nickel for every time I said that, well, I would have a lot of nickels. In this game in particular, I would have 5 nickels, which would enable me to do no loads of laundry. Free kick, space, saved by Orozco. Another attempt by Castillo, and it takes a bounce, but just to the right of the goal. 18.5 feet wide. That one might have been about 20.5 feet. If it was 20.5 feet, I should say, that could have resulted in a goal. Rojo with the touch. too aggressive, headed by Zuart. Pumas on the prowl. Looking to spread Soccer Central out. 1 minute to go in 7v7. Unless Pumas can find the nail in the coffin. Excellent move by by Gutierrez, although he had no running mates coming with him. While he cleared up some space, went on the run, could not continue. Pumas carrying on. Looking for Castillo, as Castillo gets muscled off by Emmanuel Aguirre. Aguirre with a goal to his credit in this tournament. Oh, and the save by Orozco. Space opened up. I just fanned out like the rest of y'all there. And the slide, which no slide tackling in this game, just throwing that out there, but 3 minutes have expired, so now we go from 7v7 to 6v6.
And we will resume play at 6-on-6.
So as the song goes, I believe it was former member of the Eagles, Glenn Fry. The heat is on, but not on the streets, on the pitch. And shout out to the groundskeepers here. They kept this pitch pristine. Despite all the games that have been played on here, ground looking solid. WakeMed Soccer Park, great facility, great hosts, and a fantastic staff too. Gustavo Rosales to his right. Pumas pressuring right around that midfield. Remember the backfield violation. So wise play to pressure Orozco. And that's going to be a foul against Rosales. Excuse me, against, looks like it's against Marco Tovar. Sorry about that. Tovar, one of the many players from both of these teams to also compete Football Rapido. Football Rapido, a whole nother culture in Mexico, similar to how futsal is in Brazil. Orozco across the midfield. Into Rosales. Gustavo with some gusto into the box, and that one gets sailed in to the stands. Put a passport on it with the distance it traveled. 90 seconds remain in the 6v6. Rodriguez. Aguirre recovers it for Soccer Central. Emmanuel Aguirre bodied off by Leonardo Herline. 21-on-21, battled for it, and it was Pumas' 21. Leonardo, a.k.a. Machina, the Machine, competed in Kings League with Los Chamos, number 21 on Pumas. As this time it would be Aguirre winning between himself and Machina. Tempers flaring here between both sides. Cooler heads do need to prevail, and just an unnecessary yellow card on Marco Tovar. Did not need to do that.
Yellow card issued to Pumas to Alabama's number 4.
The ball was not even put into play, but fortunately for him, it was on the touchline and not just outside the box. Aguirre into Orozco. Now, while I don't give opinions, it's not my job to. I'm thinking the same thing many of you are in the chat. Orozco well outside of his box. Pumas. And another yellow card issued. This time it's going to go against Emmanuel Aguirre. Things getting spicy here now on field number 2. And between Aguirre and Makina, those two have been going at it pretty relentlessly these past 2 minutes. So now 3 more minutes have expired.
We will resume play at 5-on-5.
What's that?
With 3 goals.
Yeah, I think Mark Aguirre, Aguire. So now we go to 5v5. Real estate becoming abundant here at Wake Med Soccer Park. Official telling Angel Rodrigo Castro to give some space on these free kicks. The rule is 10 yards of space is what needs to occur. I believe that is Zuart. Pumas de Alabama is facing our direction, so can't tell, but I do believe it is Uriel. Uriel going to go back to his keeper. He can do that, but 15 seconds to advance it. An interesting strategy just for the entire Pumas team to rotate around. The pass to Uriel, who has space. Uriel winds up and field goals it out of play. Rojo. To his left. Soccer Central desperately needing a goal. In fact, desperately needing 3 if they want to move to the next round. Rojo to Orozco. Orozco towing that line. In the game between Orlando Pirates and Furia FC, saw a couple instances in which players getting the ball by the midfield were pressured relentlessly, causing these backfield violations. And that was close. An unforced turnover, but keeping it in is Casanova. Rock looking to throw some stones of his own. Orozco. Across the field, Uriel. Orozco slips up. And a yellow card issued to the young Guatemalan keeper, who also calls Riverside, California home.
Yellow card
Riverside in the Inland Empire of Southern California.
Brian Orozco.
So the question remains, who's got what it takes to make it to the next round? Pumas largely in control of this game, only needing 1. Soccer Central scored the first goal of the game, but have since then given up 3. And that's going to stay on this end. Actually, no. Change of possession. Apologize. Played in Rojo. Rojo has Morales. Pressure from Makina. Rojo. And Rojo and Makina exchanging some words. It's number 21 on Pumas de Alabama, Leonardo Hairline, a.k.a. Makina, Machine. He's getting into it with multiple Soccer Central players. First it was Emmanuel Aguirre, and it's now battling with Juan Manuel Rojo. A wasted effort by Pumas as Soccer Central regains it. Rodrigo Castro to his right. Brian Orozco once again comes outside of his box. Rodrigo Castro inside. Up top. Zuart picking pockets. Taken away. Magana hits the post. And another foul on Soccer Central. Ding dong, ring-a-ling-a-ling. You can still see the goal rattle.
Still looking for one of our teams to reach that
so
target
3
score.
more minutes have expired.
2 more players exit the
so
pitch.
2 more players, one from each side, are now going to come off.
4-on-4.
We've gone from 7v7 all the way to 4v4.
Pumas to Alabama.
So the officials motioning over to the Pumas de Alabama bench to pull out a trainer. So no time will be wasted at this point because we haven't started the next setup for target score time. I do not. Just waiting for visual confirmation as to who that is. But at this point, Soccer Central's head coach, Henoni Martinez, now can talk to his team about switching up some of the tactics, needing to find any kind of catalyst, any kind of spark, because it's been quite some time since Soccer Central has penetrated through this Pumas backline. You have to go back to the early moments of the first half. While we have a moment, might as well tell you what the stats are real quick. Pumas with 14 shots, 8 of them on goal. Soccer Central 8 with 2 of them on goal. What do you mean? There you see the leaderboard on your screen, so you can see what's going on. Got a whole heap of activity going on today as we are in the round of 16 on the men's division. A lot of action happening in the women's and the mixed, too. Extra attacker in for Pumas. They've pulled their keeper. The strategy used very frequently by the teams in TST as they get into the 5v5s and the 4v4s. Rios up top. Over to Georgiana. And no keeper in the box. Soccer Central has an opportunity here. Passed up. Morales. Miguel Morales. It gets deflected. Excellent defending by Pumas. Rios. Taken away by Soccer Central. Once again, that Pumas backline is proven to be palpable defending the ball. Now it is Soccer Central that's removing their keeper. Interesting that they aren't going to be using Orozco as he scored from that position as the extra attacker. As Brian Mendoza wearing the extra attacker penny. Haven't seen too much of him. Perhaps he could be that spark that Soccer Central so desperately needs to find their way back into this contest. Space on the right, and it is Rios. It's going to stay as both teams quickly go into their respective benches. As keeper comes back on. Oh, the intensity is there. You can feel the anxiety. Anytime Soccer Central has looked to go into the box, another Pumas player, all of them are playing relentless defense. We just see another yellow card issued. Official's been busy making his morning run well worth it. It is now Pumas with the extra attacker. Orozco back in goal for Soccer Central. Who's stepping into that phone booth? Who's putting on the cape? Georgiana. Alder Georgiana, to be precise. There is an Eder wearing number 11. He's inside the box. And it is Eder. It's going to stay on this end as Soccer Central pleading their case. Soccer Central believes that it should have been a change of possession. So 3 more minutes have expired, and that was a quick 3 minutes.
One from each team.
So now the stakes get even higher. 3v3. We won't go any less than 2v2.
Pumas to Alabama in gold needs just 1.
So as a reminder, Pumas, only 1 goal needed. Soccer Central have their work cut out for them. But as we get to 3v3 and 2v2, I'd say the advantage, well, no advantage favors either of these teams, as they are both very capable of scoring with the extra attacker. Georgiana in the box on the right. Alder up top. Believe that might be Luis Magana. The penny very dark, I can't quite tell the number. Alder. He's looking to find any mistake for Soccer Central. While it might appear to be a game, it's more tactical, and the shot just missed. Yes, that was Luis Magana. Quick play into Soccer Central. And Alder gets in the way just at the nick of time as goalkeeper Giovanni Rodriguez was hustling back onto the field. And now we have a corner kick scenario. The extra attacker for Soccer Central coming on. And that's number 14, Marcelo Fattori, wearing the orange. Castro, Fattori, towards the right. Pumas asking for a handball. Or a slide tackle. Looked like he might have got his hand on it on the fall down, though. But either way, a change of direction as Orozco comes back onto the field for Soccer Central. About a minute away from going 2v2. And I said we haven't had very many of them this week, and often there's the term called the broadcaster's curse. Although I'll never think that any broadcaster, more importantly myself, will ever have any impact on what's happening on the field. I couldn't get on the field myself. Why would my words have any indication? So if these players go 2v2, most cases you'll have that extra, you'll have a 2-on-1 scenario. It just becomes a difficult scenario if we get to that point. And it becomes a scenario where possession is crucial, possession is key. Because any mistake can be costly. There's 2 defenders running back and forth. You have a keeper. These teams now, having been in multiple TSTs, have no question worked their strategies. Magana has it inside the box. Up top, Magana, Georgiana, Magana, Georgiana. And Gustavo Rosales tries to move it forward as there's no goalie in there. Unable to break free. Pumas' defense just relentless. Magana, Georgiana, and booted! Missed opportunity for Eder Georgiana as the sea parted and he belted it over the ocean.
We are down to 2-on-2.
Now we're at 2v2.
Here on field 2. This game will end at 2-on-2.
We won't go any further than 2v2, and
will not be removing any more players. Pumas to Alabama.
Soccer Central now with an opportunity to find their way back. They could take advantage. As you see, 1 defender and 1 keeper for Pumas. 2 field players. It is Fattori wearing the extra attacker jersey. And he scores! Bottom right corner. And Soccer Central now with 2 on the scoreboard.
Goal,
Marcelo very
Soccer
quick
Central.
On the goal. Will that sway the momentum in favor of Soccer Central? But now it's Pumas that are going to have the same opportunity.
Now, Pumas 3, Soccer Central 2.
So Orozco
still 4.
In the box.
Pumas need 1 goal to win it. Soccer Central need 2.
And I believe that might be Rios wearing the extra attacker jersey. Casually taking his time as Brian Gutierrez and Brian Orozco are the defense for Soccer Central. It's Pablo Gomez. Orozco with the save. Brian, as he's come up time and time again, it looks like he took a knock in a not so good part of the body. And he got hit in a fairly similar spot the last time around. So yes, an injury timeout at this point as the trainers are tending to Orozco. Saves like that, though, from talented players like Brian Orozco that are keeping the hopes alive for Soccer Central. At one point, they were on life support until we got to the 2v2, and Marcelo Fattori found the space that he needed. And now we're at 3-2. Pumas de Alabama just missed a golden opportunity before Soccer Central managed to score, and it was Eder Georgiana. He's one of the top goal scorers here at the TST that just put too much hustle behind the muscle of his attempt. And whether or not the soccer gods will bless him with another opportunity, I don't know. But it's, for us non-professionals, getting the ball in a position like that be pretty hard to miss for you or I. But excited and just wanting to put the exclamation point on what has been a great game. So there's the leaderboard back on your screen as Orozco still being tended to. Got some great games on hand. Hernandez United, one of the unknowns coming in to TST. Team to look out for as they take on Crew FC later on today. Got some great mixed division games. Legio FC taking on Boca Dallas shortly after the conclusion of this match. No, we're back. And so Orozco's back on his feet. As it is still Gomez. And I do want to say that's Rios. Orozco with another save. And another collision. This time, this one looks more severe than the previous one. It hit him right in his neck.
Once again, another
as he is throwing his body on the line, taking one for the team. Brian Orozco is going to have an ice bath after this game. What a warrior. Total disregard towards his own well-being, trying to keep his team alive. $1 million at stake, so much to be had. For Orozco, that's his lucky number 7 on the day. His counterpart on the other end, not nearly as busy as Giovanni Rodriguez, only with 1 save. It's another example of the pressure that Pumas throws at you. 18 shots, 10 of them on goal. Soccer Central, though, starting to collect up those numbers. 12 shots, 3 of them on goal. And out of those 3 shots on goal, 2 of them have gone through. So a conversion rate of a little over 66%. As Orozco is back up on his feet. And the field players for Pumas change as it is Alder Georgiana. And I believe it was both Georgianas. 8 and 11. 2 Georgianas for the price of 1. What a story it would be. The team's leading goal scorer and the team's leader in assists. Aldair wearing the number 8, Eder wearing the number 11. The last hope as a field player for Soccer Central is Brian Gutierrez. And Orozco has been impenetrable here in this 2v2. Georgiana to Georgiana. Aldair to Eder. So both players are going to go back and forth, just trying to find a slip-up, trying to find a mistake, trying to find some kind of seam. While it might appear stalling, they're intelligently just whipping the ball around. What's to say that Gutierrez doesn't slip on the pitch, and that opens things up for a free look at Orozco. With so much on the line and no goalie on the other side, a quick force of a turnover and a shot on target, and that changes the complexion of this match. Eder up, through, and he skies it again. That's 2 attempts by Eder Georgiana that sail over the crossbar. As Orozco plays it across the midfield. Another missed opportunity for Pumas, but it's going to remain their ball. As if he finds his space. Boca Negra. Actually, it is Sanchez. And another miss with Orozco well outside of his box. Eder Georgiana with 3 missed opportunities. If Soccer Central comes back and wins this game, he's going to need to have a conversation with a sports psychologist. Fattori is in with Roberto Carlos. Fattori scored the second goal. And the save. Quickly rolled in. Pumas have an empty net. Does it have the distance? Just missing. Pumas continues to knock on a wide open door, but they can't open it and go through. I have never seen anything like this. Me personally, a TST first. Zordo and Fattori. If they score, it's next goal wins for either team. Fattori. With space. Opts to go to his right. The keeper comes up. A dangerous move by the keeper at that. Fattori skies it. Does anybody want to win today? It's as if there's an electromagnetic field across the goal that is preventing either of these teams from scoring. Crowd starting to get into it. Feeling a little bit of energy on this field. Who wants it more at this point? It is Rios wearing the extra attacker. Pareja. Will lightning strike here? Poked away by Orozco. And Brian's going to run off. He's earned his pay today, as he's kept us on the edge of our seats. It is Angel Rodrigo Castro and Brian Gutierrez. And a quick change. Soccer Central brings fresh legs. And I believe that is Casanova, number 9. Rodrigo Castro. I may lose my voice before my second game with this contest. I don't know about y'all, but I am on the edge of my seat as well. If you're not hearing from me, it's because I'm chewing on my fingernails. Same as many of you probably are at home. Rodrigo Castro. Casanova. Rodrigo Castro. Casanova. He shoots. He hits the post. Oh, Dios mío. Is this the equalizer? It is! Soccer Central have tied it.
Goal for Soccer Central.
Rock.
Scored by number 9.
Casanova throwing stones at Pumas, and we are tied. Next goal wins.
It's now 3-3. The target score is 4.
Target score is 4. Feel like target score
2.
time has lasted longer than the actual game has.
Entering target score time.
We'll be starting our next game on this field late.
But Soccer Central has scored 2 unanswered.
We got Boca Dallas mixed and Legio FC already taken to the field. So Orozco put up an MVP performance for Soccer Central, is back on, along with Brian Gutierrez. So Eder Georgiana, who's watched a Star Wars movie too many, shooting like a stormtrooper, wearing the blue penny. Georgiana towards the midfield. And that is both Georgianas, Eder and Alder, the assist leader and the goal leader. So one thing's for sure, if they score, it's going to be a Georgiana. But we're just pointing out the obvious to y'all at home. Alder. To Eder. Back and forth we go. Will somebody score? Nobody knows. There's Gutierrez. If he was wearing his Apple Watch, probably at 10,000 steps just in target score time alone. Eder and Alder. Georgiana and Georgiana. That's Alder. Eder. Alder. And he misses. But it's Brian Orozco who gets his paws all over it. If you don't know the name Brian Orozco yet, you do now. This is a young man whose talent has taken him places. Outstanding talent. An even better personality. Taking one for the team, being relentless. Collisions, his neck, throwing his body on the line. And Alder nearly lets that one slip. I'm all out of nails. Up to my cuticles now in anxiety. Never realized you had so many nervous ticks till we got in this part of the ball game. Alder. Eder. Brian Orozco locked in. We may get the next game started on the opposite field before this one ends. I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm calling the next game. Alder. To Eder. Pumas, will you pounce? Soccer Central, will you have a historic comeback? Eder. Alder. Cash it, cash it, cash it. One step closer to $1 million for Pumas to Alabama. A heartbreaking loss for Soccer Central as they fought tooth and nail. They tied it up, but in the end, it would be Pumas to Alabama. The Golden Fleece is going to be issued to a Georgiana. Lifetime pass to attend every TST and TBT from here on out. Folks, let's take a look at the final stats before we let you go real quick. Soccer Central, 17 shots, 6 of them on target. Pumas, 23 shots with 12 of them on target. At the end, it would be Georgiana with the game-winning goal and the Golden Fleece, propelling Pumas to Alabama into the next round. On behalf of myself, Christian Filliman, better known as Philly, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to Game 1 here on Day 4 at TST. Stick around, so much action to be had. Once again, your final score, Pumas 4, Soccer Central 3. We'll see you later.
That's the end of the game. Pumas to Alabama is
how much time do we have before this next one?
$1 million TST prize. Pumas advances to the quarterfinal round of the men's bracket.
They're all out there. That's for sure.
FC and GeneFit FC. That game coming up at 11:15 a.m. on Field 3.
I'm going to quickly take this thing off and just get some water because I'm cotton mouthed again.
Coming up next here on Field 2, Boca Dallas.
Okay, cool.